Hi, my name is Ed Garza, Mr. Pitchman, here back with an incredible show. We're here talking with another co-host, and that is those weekend golf guys, right?
Yeah,
I love it. We love golf, right? And I'm here with John Ashton, and we're going to talk about, we're going to talk about his show. We're going to talk about golf, maybe
sure.
talk about some things that are funny, maybe talk about some things that'll make you laugh. So you want to stay tuned in. So, John, great to have you here.
Thanks,
You told me your story before, but I think it's great for the people to hear this. You know, you were in corporate world working for radio stations. You became pretty popular, and eventually you went off on your own. Tell us that path. People may find it interesting.
I started life on the radio when I was 16 years old.
Fantastic, man.
Really never wanted to do anything else but, which, didn't thrill my family, but, that's a different story totally. Made it pretty big. I worked everywhere from Bangor, Maine to Dallas, Texas, and most points in between. And I had come back here to Louisville, Kentucky, had been doing a morning show here at a big adult contemporary FM station for 12 years. And then one morning I got off the air and they said, "Hey, John, listen, you're too expensive. You need to go make your own way in the world." Okay. Sure. No problem. Thanks. And I decided that, I was just going to, I decided I couldn't really move because I had two children. They were older, they were adults, but they were well established here, had a couple of grandkids. They were well established here. And my wife was like, "Well, if you move, you're going alone." So I was like, "Yeah, okay, well, maybe I'll hang out." And had to do something here and really did not want to have to work for a living. I had successfully avoided having a real job for so long. I didn't want to start now. So I went to a buddy who had a talk radio station in town, and I said, "Hey, I'll do some voiceover work for you in return for 30 minutes of airtime." He said, "Okay, that's a deal." Started a radio show about golf, and I started it just to make golf tax deductible. That was it. And of course, when you do radio and then radio is all you need to do, then that's really all you can do. So, you get upset if you can't do it. So that's why I started. Anyhow, it took on a life of its own. The show is called Those Weekend Golf Guys, and it is now on 102 radio stations coast to coast with a podcast version that has about 30,000 listeners every month.
That's fantastic, man.
Just bam, it happened,
That's great. And what's so great about it is you love to do it. That's what really, when we first talked, I said, I got to talk to you because I know that, it's your passion and it's obvious, 16 years old. Wow.
Yeah.
What was your first microphone that you had when you were 16? You remember?
Yeah, I do. I was doing interviews, on the street interviews for the Council of Churches of the City of New York, Department of Radio and Television. It was a nepotism gig. My dad was one of the executives of the Council of Churches, and he got me the job. And I was doing interviews and was doing things at WABC in New York. So I tell people my first radio gig was at WABC in New York, and I've been working my way down ever since. But high school report show there ran for like 5 minutes every Sunday morning on WABC. And then I went to the School of Communications and Theater at Temple University and worked for the jazz station they have there in Philadelphia. And then graduated, went to Bangor, Maine, and then started working my way further and further south ever since.
Fantastic.
Here in Louisville, Kentucky, man, eventually. So
that's great. Well, tell us, you probably have tons of stories.
Oh, I do.
And you got to tell me, you got to have something funny to tell us about your time in radio. What would you say is the most hilarious time you've ever had, either on a show or with somebody else?
It was 1978. Okay. I came originally to work here in Louisville, Kentucky at a legendary top 40 radio station called WAKY. It was wacky. In fact, they invented top 40 radio at WAKY radio here in Louisville. And there was a morning guy here who had been one of my idols forever and was one of the best morning guys in the country. His name was Bill Bailey. And I started doing the all night show, which meant he was the guy who came in when my shift ended. And I had been told, don't hang out, don't talk to Bill. He's kind of a prima donna. Don't bother him. Just, say hello and go away. So he, and I will clean up his language substantially, but he came in and he was a notorious drinker and partier and carouser. And he came in and he leaned against the door jamb of the studio and went, "Hey, pal, you're sounding good." And I said, "Well, thank you, Mr. Bailey." He said, nah, hell with that. It's Bill. And I said, "Well, thank you, Bill." I shook his hand, said, "It's great to meet you," and started walking out. And he grabbed me by the shoulder and he said, "You're not going anywhere," and threw me down on the chair in the studio. And for that entire show, he engaged me in conversation, brought me into the show, let me give the punchline to a few jokes and things like that. He got off the air at 10. He took me across the street to a restaurant, bought me breakfast. And because it was Bill Bailey, they opened the bar at the restaurant. We started drinking about 10:30 in the morning. and at 2:30 that afternoon, I stumbled back to my hotel room, just drunk.
Oh my gosh.
And it was, "Hey, pal, welcome to Louisville."
Yeah, there you go. Wow.
Thank you. But he did give me one of the best lines that I had ever heard. And I stole from him because one of the things I've lived my life by is don't agonize, plagiarize. So if I ever hear anything great, I'll use it. And he always used to refer to his ex-wife, "Beautiful woman. Wish I could remember her name." All the time. He was a legendary morning guy. And I had taken some of his bits, some of his ideas about doing radio. And he mentored me for a couple of years. And most of the time after working at Wacky in Louisville, I did morning radio all across the country. And it was because of what I learned from him that I was able to do it so successfully as I've been able to do it. And
that's great. Are you on any digital platforms out there?
We're on all of them. We have our own website, thoseweekendgolfguys.com. We have a Facebook page, facebook.com/golfguys. And then the podcast is available either on our website. It's right there on the front page and updates every Sunday morning at 9. The new episode is there. But iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, all of them. You can go anywhere.
Fantastic. So what should somebody expect at your show? What are they going to crystallize that for us? What are they going to hear? What are they going to tune into?
They're going to tune into to a former disc jockey who sucks at golf and one of America's top golf instructors who is taking it upon himself to help him actually break 80 eventually.
All right. Excellent.
And see, I'm every guy. My problems on the golf course are everybody's problems on the golf course. I have a slice. I have a draw. I have no idea where my ball's going to go. I can't putt to save my life. I don't chip very well. All of the problems that people have, and we talk about them and we fix them. We are unique in that we are the only golf show that does not talk about the PGA Tour. We don't care about pro golfers. They have so many shows that talk about pro golf, and all of them are pretty damn boring, in my own humble yet nevertheless expert opinion. We talk to and about the average golfer and how they can have more fun playing golf. Simple. One of the best emails I ever got was from a woman in your neck of the woods too. In Chicago. She said, "I hate golf, but I love listening to you guys. I never miss a show." So
that's so funny.
Yeah.
That's awesome, John. Well, it's great to connect with you. I feel honored to be able to speak with you about this topic and your life and what you're experiencing in your show. I tell you, if there's a young entrepreneur out there, and there's a lot of kids out there that are starting their own podcasts, doing videos, what advice would you give someone that's young? Maybe they're in college now. I'm sure you got a list of things you could tell them to do and not do. But, I guess probably the most important thing is just get started and start the process, right?
Just do it.
Just do it, right? But is there any specific advice you would give?
Yeah, I have found something that has helped me substantially because, a lot of us are very attuned to what people tell us, and we allow ourselves to get bummed out because someone may say something negative. Someone may hear a podcast or may hear you say something. You go, "Oh, that's the stupidest thing I ever heard. That's stupid. You shouldn't do that." And we let that get to us. Whereas there may be thousands of people who think it's wonderful, but they never take the time to say anything. So what I would tell people, and I have lived by this for a while, and it has helped me substantially, is never take criticism from anyone you would not go to for advice.
Very good advice.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. That's excellent.
That'll help.
So where is home to you?
But it's home. Oh, well, that's one of the drawbacks to being in radio for a living. It's like the Johnny Cash song. I've been everywhere. I basically lived everywhere. I was born and brought up in New England. I lived in Boston and then moved to New York City when I was a teenager. My mom has passed away. My dad and my sister now live in Saco, Maine, but I never lived in Saco, Maine, so it's not really home. Where I grew up is not there anymore, so there's no home to go to there either. So home is where the bulk of my immediate family is, which now is here in Louisville, Kentucky, and will probably remain so.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
So, hey, there may be some people out there that want to target your listeners. Tell us a little bit about. You're in over 100 markets now.
Yep.
You're growing. I'm sure there's some opportunities for sponsorship or placing ads. Do you have that available?
Definitely do. Yes, we do. And our audience is very attractive audience because golfers in general are the most affluent group of sports enthusiasts. Average household income is about $102,000 for a golfer. And so we attract a lot of the clientele looking for high end, like the Mack Weldon is a clothing line that advertises with us. Omaha Steaks advertises with us, and those boxes are delicious, but they ain't cheap.
Yep.
Made in Cookware just decided to become a sponsor. And
that's great.
And the best part about it is that everybody who's a sponsor wants me to talk about it in glowing terms, so they all send me something.
Yep, that's excellent.
I'll come home someday, open up the front door, and here's a box from somebody. That's so nice. No.
And they can learn about that on your website, right?
ThoseWeekendGolfGuys.com. Yes, sir.
Okay, fantastic. Well, John, it was a pleasure getting to know you, buddy. And I'm going to ask one last question, and that's, if no one had the chance to listen to your incredible voice again, they never had a chance to see you again, or never heard a word come out of your mouth again, what one thing would you want them to know about John?
First off, Ed, what have you heard? That's kind of ominous, man. Okay. I'm just a little nervous now. That he basically, he damned the torpedoes in full speed ahead. He did what he wanted to do, despite what the world told him he should be doing.
That's great.
And he did well doing it. So,
well, I'm glad you had the guts to do it, because that's what it takes.
Yeah, indeed, it does. And you have to ignore the naysayers and just keep on keeping on, man.
And that's true. A lot of kids these days, I know when I grew up, I played baseball, little league, and hey, if you didn't make the cut, they cut you, and unfortunately the world's softening quite a bit. I learned a lot from sports growing up. You strike out one time, next time you get up, you hit a grand slam. It's just, you got to change quickly and adapt, and just don't stop,
right.
And be persistent.
And anything worth doing is worth overdoing. So if you want to play baseball, then by all means play baseball all the time. Work at it. Work hard. Don't expect people to give it to you because you want to do it. You have to earn it. You have to earn everything in life.
Right. Yeah. Nothing's easy. You just, but it can be simple if you just believe in yourself and you take action and you stick to it, like John did. From when he was 16 years old, he started, and he kept his passion. That's got to be admired. So I appreciate you, John, and I thank you for sticking to it. And I look forward to tuning into your show and learning more about you and your audience. And hey, maybe I have some clients that want to advertise on your show. I'll be sure to let them know, man.
I appreciate it, Ed, and congratulations on what you're doing, man. It's a cool idea.
Yes, absolutely. I've been doing it for over a decade. I just enjoy doing it, and I've gotten into trade shows for free. I've gotten into business expos for free, doing interviews, just talking to businesses, adding value. To me, it's just something natural I love to do. It's nothing, no secret sauce to it, man. So
no, that's the thing about life, man. So many people try to overcomplicate everything. It's not overcomplicated. You shouldn't overcomplicate it. You should try to simplify it as much without making it stupid, but still, it's not that hard to do what you need to do to get where you want to be. You just have to do it, period. That's it.
That's right. Absolutely. Well, thank you, John. I appreciate you being with me today. And thank you very much. I appreciate your time. It was an honor to be here with you.
I appreciate the invitation. Thanks, Ed.